Life is short, we know, but most of us still need reminders to live life with intention. I began my journalism career as a police reporter focused almost exclusively on unfortunate events, and consequently gained an appreciation for every birthday, sunrise, sunset, and random act of kindness I experienced. I wanted to pass these life lessons on to my journalism students, but I wasn't sure how, because I didn't learn this stuff in a classroom. Then I met a kindred spirit named Jane while reporting a story for my weekly newspaper column at the beginning of the fall semester. Our meeting was arranged by the folks at Hospice of Michigan, so I understood the circumstances going in. It would have been easier if we didn't hit it off, but I liked Jane immediately, and she liked me enough to send me off with a grandmotherly hug. I went back to visit Jane a couple days later and brought some supplies to show her my favorite hand quilting technique. She wanted to try it right away and appeared to enjoy the mini craft session, but I left that second meeting with a story for my column and a heavy heart because I knew I'd probably never get to see Jane again. I reframed her terminal illness, and I wrote about a woman who was living with a health challenge, smiling and laughing and quilting as long as she could. I waited a while to look up her obituary and confront the undeniable fact that Jane died about a month after we met. She was 78. We spent less than 3 hours total together, but in that short time, she inspired me to partner with Hospice of Michigan to create a project for my students. The collection of stories you're now holding is a culmination of a series of real-life journalism experiences that you can't get reading a textbook or sitting in class. Okay, so going into the Hospice project, what were your expectations?
I guess I didn't really know what it was going to be like, but I had an idea that it was going to make me confront things that I'd rather leave unconfronted.
Like what exactly?
Just about my own mortality and how I should live with it and live every day, wake every morning, and have that knowledge in your mind that you're not omnipresent, I guess, that you're limited to your own person, your own abilities, your own limits.
I guess, throughout my childhood, we didn't really talk much about death, and it's really not popular in our culture to talk about it, so I didn't know really what to expect.
I was expecting sadness, patient after patient in a depressing hospital setting, and I wasn't expecting to see so much hope and happiness surrounding the people that are in hospice.
I wasn't sure of what to think of the hospice project when I heard about it, and you talked about dying and dealing with hospice. I had recently had experience with hospice with a family member, and I wasn't sure how it was going to be with a room full of traditional college age students. I'm a non-traditional college student. I'm older than a lot of people in this class, and probably a lot of older parents in their class, and I wasn't sure if it was a subject that they would be willing to take on seriously or understand that this is a part of life that happens when you're supposed to be at the carefree time of life where it doesn't really matter. I'm a free-willing, free-spirited college student in a time where you don't think about the consequences of your actions, getting older or death or dying.
So you just were talking about how your expectation is that we would interview older people, and the man that you've been focusing your story on is 32. Tell us about George Sheldon.
Well, he's 32. He's 5 years older than I am. I never realized until yesterday when I was talking to him how close in age we actually are.
Mm-hmm.
He's turning 33 this year. And when we first heard about him, it was the first time that we went to hospice as a group, and they said, "Oh, there's a guy. He's 32. He might be able to talk to you." And didn't he had kids. That's really all we knew, was that he was a dad. He was 32 years old, had 3 kids, and he was dying.
To complete this project, I went out in the field with my most experienced students and stood shoulder to shoulder with them as they documented the lives of people who were living life to the fullest while in hospice care. We prepped in the car on the way to interviews with people we quickly grew fond of despite our best efforts to remain objective and detached. Small groups worked on this project and brought audio, video, and written stories back to the classroom to share and discuss with the entire class.
We had to just go in and do our job, and there wasn't time to think about oh, this is so difficult. It was, let's just have a conversation with this guy. Let's have him tell his story.
if I could tell somebody who's in my shoes, I would tell them just to enjoy every day like it's the last. That's what I do. Every day I wake up, when I wake up, I enjoy it to the fullest.
George talks about family and just, enjoying every day. And people say that all the time. Like, oh, live every day like it's your last, or, carpe diem, all that kind of stuff. But, like, George actually does, and I brought this up to him, like, he actually is living day by day because he doesn't know. He knows that he's dying. He doesn't know when, but he knows it's going to be sooner than most people. And, like, I can't just not worry about tomorrow. Obviously, I'm in school, I'm working towards a career. I have to worry about paying bills. I can't just, live every day like it's my last, but I can at least try to enjoy every moment, not waste my time.
Are there any moments that stand out for you as being a point when you're like, okay, you knew you got a shot or you got a video clip that was really, and you just knew it in the moment that you had something that was really meaningful that you had captured?
It had to be when George and his youngest daughter were on the bed and she was scribbling on I love my daddy or something to the effect, and I don't know, just seeing that connection and watching it over and over while I was editing, it was just a very emotional clip, and I don't know, just the bond with that family, and just like, I don't know, some people just lock up, but the people that we videotaped and photographed were just so open and weren't afraid to just lay it all out, and it was just the entire journey was pretty emotional.
It gave me a lot of hope for other situations in life and for myself, and I really learned a lot more about how journalism is not so much hard-hitting news, but it's telling the story and preserving history.
Bernadette, where did you meet this guy?
Where did I meet? That's who at a dance.
Huh?
At a dance.
What?
And Jen and I went to that dance.
Yeah, at the plantations. You ever hear of it?
No.
Well, it's
First
long gone, I can tell you that. And,
First time I ever went
we
there.
met,
I didn't know what it was
and,
like or anything.
I thought,
You
when I left that place that night, I said to myself, I'm going to marry that girl.
Oh, I love that.
And
And
that
you
was
did.
in November, and in February we got married.
Wow.
As a group, we brainstormed the best way to tie this project back to our campus community. How could we inspire students and staff to ponder the meaning of their lives? We decided to build large chalkboards with easels to display outside the main building, where we asked students to pen responses to questions including, what are you grateful for, and what was your happiest day? And the GRCC community did not disappoint, with hundreds posting handwritten reflections on our boards. While it was challenging to add this project to our already hectic publishing schedule, the semester would not have been as meaningful without it.
I think it makes me a lot more positive, honestly, just seeing that recording such a sad subject could be uplifting in a way, because I was expecting to come away each day kind of depressed, but hearing these people just like ultimately positive each day, if they could stay positive, I can stay positive.
I've already made some changes for a better life in the last semester. I smoked for 30 years. I quit smoking.
I went into it really not expecting a lot, not thinking a lot about it. Retrospectively, and having seen the pieces, I think it's an excellent collaboration. I think it brought a lot, not only to my staff who interacted with the students, but also to the patients. And I sense that it brought a lot to the students as well. And I think because, a lot of the students are younger, it does help to get some of the information out. We sort of, in Western society, believe we can avoid death. And the reality is, no matter what your age, we all will die. And my hope not only for myself certainly, but in the work that I do, is that if we have an expected death, that it's peaceful and comfortable, but that we also have plans in place. And so I think the project is going to have a much bigger impact than I even considered in the beginning.
I guess I don't know if I've learned anything more than what I should do. Like, I don't know exactly how I should remember, like, my grandparents or my parents. I guess that when that time comes, I'll be forced to confront that. But right now, it's what I should do now to prepare for that moment is just love them while they're here, and to experience my life with them. And I think that's the most important thing that I've gained from learning how people just deal with loss.
I think that it was a great collaboration with GRCC. I think that there are possibilities that we can explore going forward where Hospice of Michigan and GRCC, particularly the journalism students, could have some kind of collaborative effort through either our volunteers or our education or our clinical teams going forward that I think could be meaningful for us as an organization, for our patients, and for the students.
This project took on a life of its own and provided a shared experience that sustained several of us while we were dealing with our own personal losses in the background. Together, we learned valuable lessons about love and living with intention from some of the most extraordinary teachers. It was an awesome experience for me to watch my students stretch beyond what is expected of community college journalists. One of the most humbling moments was when I watched the Collegiate photo editor show a woman a portrait taken days earlier of her parents smiling together as her father lay dying in a bed just inside the door behind her. She smiled, and the tears she'd been holding back for days streamed down her face as she took in the precious moment, captured in black and white, that she held in her hands. As I watched this young man discover the impact of his documentary work, I knew I would never teach quite the same way again.
The pictures that we brought in kind of allowed her to open up and experience what was happening. And I mean, it wasn't just like, happiness, it was pain, and it was, I don't know, it was just kind of this realization of where she was at. And it was just, to see my work affect someone and touch the heart, that meant a lot to me. And I guess I'm just going to try and do more work that helps people move forward in their life and touches the heart.
We are all different now. This project changed us. It broke our hearts and filled us up with inspiration to document more, make our days count, and pack our lives with as many meaningful experiences as we could string together. We hope this collection of stories and photos will inspire you too.